Hey there, Wondering Watchers. Welcome to this tarot card reading made for watchers of true crime. This video contains disturbing details of violence against a child and is intended for a mature audience. This tarot reading pertains to the unsolved murder of 6-year-old JONBENÉT Ramsey. The case caught national attention in part because JONBENÉT won several child beauty pageants, including Colorado State All-Star Kids Cover Girl and National Tiny Miss Beauty. So JONBENÉT's body was found in the basement of her home the day after Christmas in 1996. She died from asphyxiation due to strangulation, and she had a skull fracture. Her mouth had been covered in duct tape. Her wrists and neck were wrapped with a white cord. Her torso had been covered in a white blanket, and she had been sexually assaulted. So for the past 26 years, it's become pretty clear that the case was not properly investigated from the start, and that the police became narrowly focused on JONBENÉT's parents, John and Patsy Ramsey, as well as their son Burke, who was about 9 years old at the time. So basically, some of the interesting things about this crime was that the police did not search the entire house when they were notified that JONBENÉT was found missing from her bed, and that there was a ransom note on the stairs of the house demanding $118,000 for her return. The police kind of blocked off JONBENÉT's room, but there were friends and family that had been called over to the house, including their pastor, and they were kind of free to roam around. Around 1 o'clock that day, Mr. Ramsey and a friend searched the house at the instruction of Detective Linda Arndt, who had initially been the first on the scene. The first place they looked was the basement where they found JONBENÉT's body. Mr. Ramsey picked up JONBENÉT, brought her upstairs, laid her on the floor. Then Detective Arndt picked up JONBENÉT's body, carried her to the living room, and Mr. Ramsey put a blanket on JONBENÉT's body. Then Detective Arndt adjusted the blanket over the girl's body and allowed both parents to come and cry over the body and hug the child. And Detective Arndt had suspected the father and even claimed in an interview sometime later that she feared for her life due to a nonverbal exchange between the two of them after Mr. Ramsey had found the body. She claimed that she was a scapegoat for the poor police investigation, and claimed she had told Mr. Ramsey not to touch anything when searching the house. But the written supplemental report dated January 8th, 1997, that she wrote doesn't indicate that she gave those types of instructions. And it did reflect all the, movements of the body that Detective Arndt had been involved in and did herself. So it seems police work was just pretty bad. They found a boot print next to JONBENÉT's body that didn't match anyone's in the family. There was a broken window in the basement that was believed to be a key point of entry. There was DNA from drops of blood from an unknown male found on JONBENÉT's underwear, and there was touch DNA that was later developed from JONBENÉT's long johns. I believe the the Ramsey family was excluded as potential suspects when there was the focus on the DNA samples, and the experts believe that the samples may come from two individuals rather than one. So, what's really interesting is that 9 months after JonBenét's murder, a girl who attended the same dance school as JonBenet and who lived 2 miles away from the Ramseys uh, was raped in the middle of the night in her bedroom. This teenage girl's mother had heard what was going on, like whisperings, and busted into the room with some mace, but the intruder escaped uh, from the I believe the second floor window, and that girl's father suspected that both of these cases may have been carried out by the same person, but the police claim there was no connection due to some palm prints of the respective homes not matching. But uh, what's interesting is, so Linda Arndt investigated both those cases, and so did Thomas Trujillo. As of 1999, Linda Arndt and four other investigators had basically resigned, probably because of all the, poor police work that was done. Thomas Trujillo, who was a detective on JonBenét's case, interviewed her parents in April of 1997, and he went on to be promoted in the Boulder, Colorado Police Department. He ended up heading up the Major Crimes Unit. He was a supervisor on the Boulder County Investigative Team and a SWAT negotiator team leader. In 2014, Thomas Trujillo became a commander and was the coordinator for the Boulder County Investigation Team. This year, Thomas Trujillo was reassigned to night patrol by supervisors after an internal review revealed that a number of unspecified cases had not been properly investigated between 2019 and 2022. And basically, that Trujillo was put on a performance improvement plan, and four others in Trujillo's chain of command were also cited for misconduct. So this really begs the question of how properly investigated the case was, back in 1996 or 1997, because the people who were on the scene, they kind of botched it from the get-go, and here there's this 36-year veteran of the force who is, suspended and transferred, put on a performance improvement plan because of not doing their job of investigating. So we're going to take a look at, this killer. So let's start by finding out who killed JonBenet Ramsey. We have the Page of Cups. So this is a card of someone who is sensitive, someone who may have had some childlike tendencies, or been kind of living in a fantasy world almost. With Page of Cups energy, there is a sense of someone who probably needed to get some type of therapy, someone who may have had issues with their parents growing up. I'm going to clarify that. 6 of Cups, that has to do with childhood. So it also, it seems like the killer is someone who not only was kind of had like an emotional connection to like a childlike view of the world, but also could have worked around children, maybe even um, part of the child beauty pageant community. So let's see what about JonBenét the killer was drawn to. You have the 8 of Cups. So this is a card of kind of walking away from something that's not for your best and highest good. For this deck, it's almost like you're drawn to this person in the red coat. It's like a mystery that you want to kind of follow. So it's as if this person was like drawn to like the mystery around JonBenét. So let's see what he found so mysterious. You have the 3 of Wands, and it's a sense of like discovery and exploration. So it could be just the sense of the energy the killer was drawn to is something that was almost fleeting, something that he couldn't quite even figure out himself, because you can see in both of these cards, you can't see necessarily the clear face of the person. They're looking towards something else in the future. So, maybe this is, they were just attracted to the fact that JonBenét maybe didn't really recognize them or pay attention to them, or kind of looked past them. So let's see what role this killer played in JonBenét's life. So we have here the 9 of Wands. This is a card of preparation, of needing to kind of put your energy into something where you're kind of drained. It's kind of making me think of, the role they played in JonBenét's life. It's as if they were just a hunter, someone that was kept seeking her out. And so maybe she kind of got a sense of this person and was trying to, try to get away from this person, but it's almost as if the killer was constantly trying to get to JonBenét. Let's see for what purpose. 4 of Pentacles. So that's a card of like foundation, stability, security in the material world. It could be, to some degree, this person was, I don't know why I said trainer, not a trainer, but someone who would help prepare the children for their beauty pageants, someone who was trying to help JonBenét be more attractive, or be more like appealing, If you've seen the pictures of JonBenét with the makeup on and the outfit she's wearing, like some of the outfits are revealing, and I'm noticing this person's kind of got like their clothes partially on. Um, so, it could be that the role they played was to, um, you know, somehow dress her up, put on her makeup, um, somehow make it so that she could compete in these competitions. So let's see when the killer would have had the most access to JonBenét. You have Nine of Swords. So this is a card of someone alone in their room. Someone who is stressed out, having nightmares. So for whatever reason, this person had the most access to her when she was afraid. And it's interesting with this Nine of Wands over here, the role the killer played in JonBenét's life. It's a sense of her having maybe some anxiety or some anxieties or fears, and this person was like was in the role of someone who's supposed to kind of help with that. So I'm going to clarify this Nine of Swords. We have the Knight of Wands. With the Knight of Wands, this is like drawn to like a rush of adrenaline, like seeking the thrill of things, being like getting a lot of attention. So here it does kind of seem like this person had a role with JonBenét having a sense of structure, like the foundation for her to be like competing in those pageants. So let's see the motive behind why this person killed JonBenét. You have the Tower. And that is, things really, it's like the rug being pulled out from under you. A sense of something unexpected happening. And kind of like overpowering. I'm going to clarify that. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Why are these cards like in my deck upside down? You have the Wheel of Fortune. So here it's kind of as if this person may have done this before, and on this particular occasion they just went too far. I'm going to pull another card here. Well, we have the Hanged Man. So this is a card of surrender, suspension, sacrifice, and JonBenét was found tied up. So it could be that this time the person did something that was slightly different, extremely different than the times before, but basically these cards kind of indicate a lack of control. And so the motive was this person just was out of control. So let's see how the killer has gotten away with this so far. We have the Sun. This is a card of happiness, joy, and there's like a child right in the middle. It's innocence, purity and innocence. So it's almost as if they have gotten away with it. It's like they are in the view of everyone and they're just not even considered. They're seen as someone as, pure and innocent for whatever reason. I'm going to clarify this. You have the Two of Swords here. And that's a card of like indecision and stalemate. Not really seeing the whole thing. You can see this person has like blindfolds on. Yes, to some degree it seems that it's hiding in plain view of things, but not really being able to see it. To some degree it could be because the police were so focused on the parents and the brother for so long. So let's see, where should the police focus their investigation to hopefully catch this killer? What should they look at? This is upside down too, or maybe it's how I'm flipping it. Well, you have the Fool. So that is a card of innocence. That's a card of like starting from scratch without having any preconceived notions, and it's almost as if they have to restart the investigation from scratch to even see who this person potentially could be. So let's see what this would lead the police to if they actually redid things, started from scratch. What is going on? It must be how I'm pulling these cards out. You have the Eight of Wands. So if they start from scratch, then they're going to be able to possibly advance further than where they are right now, and possibly be headed in the right direction. So this is what I have for now. We'll see you next time. Until then, stay on your toes and take care.